was.
He forgot who I was. Bobby Swafford.
Hey, it's been a long grind for the announcers. Let me tell you, I'll give him a little slack because the almost do everything Kevin Cross in the last game, for some reason I wanted to call him Thomas, and I just kept calling him Thomas. And at one point during the break, Bobby said, "Hey, you're calling him Thomas," and I was like, "I don't know why I'm calling him Thomas. I've got Cross written down." Hey, sometimes we get delirious, especially in that game. You were doing it on radio in the last contest that goes to overtime. What a fantastic finish that was. Was that the game of the tournament for you?
Yeah, well, between that and the double overtime game that we had earlier, I think those are the two top games anyways that we've had. And, boy, you know, a lot of people thought that the smaller classifications on Saturday would be kind of the weaker of games. Everybody thought the Thursday, Friday games were going to be the best games of the entire tournament. I got to tell you, the Saturday games have been the best ones so far.
Yep, I agree. It has been a heck of a day. The crowd for Magnolia really brought it. That certainly helped the matters as well. It was a home game for the Panthers. So now we turn the page. It is the championship weekend finale, the 2A Girls Championship between the Melbourne Bearcats and Riverside Lady Rebels. And this one's going to be fun, too. You got a couple of teams who've definitely won a lot. Melbourne 29-4, Riverside 35-7. Riverside looking for their first state title. Melbourne only has one. You got to go back to 1973 to find their last one. So not really a dynasty here. Two teams that haven't been here much.
Well, Melbourne is 3-0 versus Riverside this season, Scott, with a winning by an average of 14.7 points per contest. And really, they're all led. Melbourne's led by sophomore Reagan Rappert, who is averaging 17.7 points per game. And she's really doing it all in this state tournament for Melbourne. They are currently on a 9-game win streak, and as you said, last time they won a state championship was back in 1973 when they defeated Guy Perkins by a score of 55-53. Melbourne really probably the better team in this one, but we've seen so many times what a state title game on a neutral floor can do to both teams. You'll see teams that are major underdogs that come out playing lights out and try to shock the world.
Well, let's take a look at the starting lineups now for these two teams. The Bearcats, as we mentioned, 29-4 under head coach Eric Teague. They will start definitely with some youth. The guards, number 3, a sophomore, Kylie Webb. On the right side of your screen, number 11, Reagan Rappert. She is a sophomore as well. Another sophomore at number 15, Kylie Humphreys. And number 24, a freshman in Kinley McCarn. So if you're keeping track with me, 3 sophomores and a freshman, the first 5. And then another sophomore, number 30, Josie Roark. So that's 4 sophomores and a freshman in the first 5 for Eric Teague's Bearcats. For the Lady Rebels, on the left side of your screen, they've got a freshman in number 5, Carolina Hoffman. Also in the starting lineup, another guard, number 14, a 5'4" junior, Lottie Hoffman. Number 21, a 5'10" junior, Briley Douglas. And the 2 forwards, a 5'10" junior, Haley Carr, and a 5'9" junior, number 54, Grace Puckett. It'll be Humphreys for the Bearcats. Jumping center to get this one underway. Against Briley Douglas. And the Bearcats will start on offense. Quick pull up. That one knocked out of bounds.
Nice job that time by Caroline Hoffman. She's a freshman that came in and challenged her and was able to knock that ball away to go out of bounds. And Riverside's they're gonna be up for the challenge in this one with the state title on the line.
Quick inbound, McCarn can't get the shot down. And the rebound down to the Lady Rebels. Riverside is in Lake City. That's in northeast Arkansas, just east of Jonesboro. And Melbourne is about a 3-hour drive from Hot Springs, where we are now. It's a little north of Batesville. So these two schools not that far apart. North Central and Northeast Arkansas represented in the 2A Girls Championship game tonight. That's Haley Carr with the ball. And now Lottie Hoffman. Briley Douglas holding. Now Carolina Hoffman. A couple of Hoffmans out there. Carolina is the freshman. And Lottie is the junior. We've seen some good girls championship games as well as the extension of the defense there. Rappert brought it up for Melbourne. Riverside content to keep it around the perimeter right now.
Just trying to slow the game down and not really letting the Bearcats get in a rhythm, but they're going to try to find their own rhythm right now. This is a team that has been beaten soundly by this Bearcats team 3 times this year.
It was like several screens. They didn't get much off of it, but they get what they want on the right wing. Lottie Hoffman with the 3. Hey, patience paid off.
Yeah, patience is a virtue, right?
Give and go there to Roark, and Roark is going to be fouled.
By the way, Scott, today's officials for this game, you've got Kelly Roach, Reggie Hall, and Jake Black. Believe it or not, Kelly Roach was the guy that taught me how to officiate when I first started officiating back in 2009.
How about that?
Yeah.
The dribble drive, Webb, shot blocked, rebound taken down by Hoffman.
Clearly it worked out for him and not me. He's still doing it. I'm not.
The freshman, Carolina Hoffman, throws it out of bounds, trying to get it into the hands of Lottie Hoffman. Bearcats basketball. You heard the guys mention it from Studio B. Gotta love the spelling. It's right across the front of the jersey for Melbourne. Bearcats with a Z. I don't know if that changes the pronunciation. Webb is all alone. Fight for the rebound comes down to Haley Carr for Riverside. Well, it looks very apparent early on. It's going to be an early diet. Well, I was going to say patience, but no. A quick 3 this time. Douglas went in and out with the triple. The Bearcats look to push it. Great move by Rappert. She drops it in the corner. Back out. She'll try a 3 and nail it. Reagan Rappert ties the game.
Nice job working the ball around and tying the ball game with that 3-point shot. You know, talking with Spencer Hoffman this week, he said that his team's going to try to slow the game down as much as possible to not allow for Melbourne to get on any runs, to get any momentum in this one, and they're definitely doing that. They're slowing it down to a snail's pace.
Melbourne almost got the turnover there, but Josie Roark stepped on the inline. Their second trip down, they took a quicker shot than the first, and now splitting the double team. Carolina Hoffman draws the foul. I was not for sure clear on the pronunciation of Reagan's last name. The PA announcer's going with Rappert, so we're going to go with Rappert as well. Sometimes you don't get all the info you want or need from the schools, and we had to kind of wing it on that one. That 3 is off from Hoffman. Out in front, McCarn. Left-handed layup is good.
Nice job. Goes up the left side. A lot of players try to use that right hand to contort their body. She uses her left hand to get the easy lay-in and take a 2-point lead.
This is Grace Puckett. She'll get called for a carry. And substitutions off the bench. This is something to watch. The Bearcats already going to their bench. I don't know you're going to see Riverside do that very much. Haley Cooper and Danny Hardaway into the contest for Melbourne. There are only 8 players on the Lady Rebels roster. They have 3 players on the bench, so depth could be a factor in tonight's game. Webb a 3. And Puckett gets the rebound.
Well, you look at here for Riverside. They're doing a good job of really boxing out and getting rebounds and keeping this game manageable right now. It's only a 2-point game, but I think that's really part of the formula, them slowing it down. Melbourne can't get into a rhythm to get their shots off.
Bearcats get a hand in the passing lane there, but the Lady Rebels will still have the basketball as we've reached our under 4 first quarter timeout. Back to Hot Springs in a moment.
5,000 miles of travel in the state of Arkansas, visiting 22 schools in the process, all for just one purpose: to find the coolest, most unique programs and the most amazing educators the state of Arkansas has to offer. Join us as we showcase just a few of the bright spots throughout the state. Catch a new episode of Cool Schools every Thursday on our Facebook page, or find out more at aetn.org/coolschools.
For every moment, for every memory, from that first car to your first home, to your first child, and all the highs and lows that tomorrow might bring. For everything that matters most to you and your family, there's someone right around the corner dedicated to helping you protect what you love. Your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent. Farm Bureau Insurance. Real service, real people.
Fans, if you want to relive all the action, championship games will be available to watch online starting on Monday at aetn.org/sports.
Gives me an opportunity to think back on this week, and probably should say congratulations to all the state champions crowned, 11 of them prior to today. And a foul called against Melbourne as Lottie Hoffman was tripped up. We've had some good ones. The first one right out of the bat, Marion and Hall went to overtime. Marion wins it. Batesville, Ashdown, that was on day one. Northside then pulled off the doubleheader, beating Bentonville in the 6A girls game, beating Bryant in the 6A boys game. Little Rock Christian dominant in the 5A girls matchup. Izard County in the nightcap last night, and then today Mountain View, England, Wonderview, and then the game of the weekend as far as I'm concerned, the overtime game that Magnolia beats Mills. A steal. Danny Hardaway. Good pass up to Rapert for the finish.
Well, you can see the speed, Scott, right there. That once they get the turnover, they're off to the races, and they can run the floor.
Yeah, you can definitely see why Riverside wants to slow it down. Douglas, though, with the drive, she had to take the open space. A lot of contact there. No whistle, and here come the Bearcats, up 4. Hardaway had a lot of room to take the three. Instead, it's Cooper. But a rebound for Hardaway. She missed the follow, and Riverside out with it.
Right now, you see Riverside running that zone on defense and still getting open looks, though, for the Bearcats to get open shots.
Lottie Hoffman goes all the way, but can't finish. Rapert up the far sidelines. Doesn't have the numbers, but somehow finds Hardaway, and she turned it over.
Yeah, she traveled with the basketball down by the baseline and shuffled her feet as she was going for the shot. So it's a turnover, and Riverside gets the basketball back.
Josie Roark's going to sit down for Melbourne. And Kinley McCarn is in for the Bearcats. One thing Riverside has done a pretty good job of is breaking that pressure. They have 3 turnovers here in the first quarter, though. And that has aided the Melbourne effort. Kind of forced a pass there. Hardaway deflected it. And Rapert into the front court. Nice pass in for Kate Shin, and she draws the contact and will go to the line.
Yeah, there was a little bit of contact down there. I didn't see a whole lot, but she'll head to the free throw line either way. But boy, the speed of this Melbourne team is pretty evident so far in this one.
Shin has started many of the games for Melbourne this year, but did not start here tonight in that state championship game. She was an expected or probable starter on the information we were given. And she hits them both. Biggest lead so far for Melbourne. This is Carolina Hoffman. She backs it out. They wouldn't want to hold to the end of the quarter here, would they?
Probably so. They're really good at the whole stall tactic, and I wouldn't be surprised if they wind off this last minute.
This is Douglas. Briley Douglas too hard off the glass, and over the back is going to be the call. A foul on Haley Carr. We get a look there at Coach Eric Teague along the sidelines.
Boy, he's a great guy. I had a chance to catch up with him yesterday during shoot around, and just real humble guy. And he knew what this meant. He actually told me, because I asked him back on Sunday when we had the coaches meeting over the AAA office, and I said, Coach, can you give me who your starters are going to be? Because most of the time coaches know who they're going to play. And he said, I can't. He said, it changes every night on who I'm going to start.
Three-pointer is good from the corner by Danny Hardaway. Her first bucket. And it's a 9-point Melbourne lead, and they'll pressure in the backcourt. Yeah, just to follow that up, I'll tell you, as there was almost a steal, a good anticipation by McCarr, but they'll still get it off the deflection. And a timeout's going to be called by Riverside. You're talking about the starters. Up until the last game, every starter we were given was accurate.
Yeah.
Mills, I think, switched one guy.
Yeah.
But tonight, Melbourne went with a different lineup, a young lineup, as we talked about in the open, and they've built a 9-point lead here with 30 seconds left in the first quarter.
I can't remember, Scott, a team in the state tournament that started 4 sophomores and a freshman. I can't think that I've ever seen that. And not only that, but they're dominant.
Yep.
Like they play like they're seniors.
9-game winning streak, 29 wins on the year. It's pretty phenomenal, the number of freshmen and sophomores who've made huge impacts in general in all of the games that we have brought you over the last 3 days. None bigger than the guy that got the MVP in the game before.
Yes, very much.
What do you think of him?
Boy, he was outstanding. He was only a freshman, and just domination. That's all I can say. He'll have some big Division I schools looking at him.
Out of the corner to beat the buzzer? No. Rapert's 3 won't go, but she had 5 in the quarter, and Melbourne leads Riverside 12-3 after 1.
Broadcast of this championship game is made possible by
Law Offices of Gary Green, a people's practice, representing people with serious injuries in areas of personal injury, nursing home negligence, and product liability. We are proud to be underwriters of AETN.
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas to provide reliable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.
The Cherokee Nation, our people, our culture, our history, our future. To learn more, go to visitcherokeenation.com and say hello to the Cherokee Nation.
You can dance to it, you can cry to it, you can make love to it, you can play it at a funeral, it's just really has something in it for everybody, and people relate to it.
Oh, I'm thinking tonight of my blue eyes.
Welcome back to Bank OZK Arena. Well, right now Melbourne leads 12-3 in the second quarter of the 2A Girls State Championship game. Hey, travel to stay with Chuck Dovish on Exploring Arkansas each Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. and weeknights at 10 o'clock only on AETN.
Good start for Melbourne. Riverside will have to fight the urge to press too much. They want to play patient. They want to limit the number of possessions. That much is clear. And they're certainly still within striking distance this early on, but they're going to have to fight the urge to take quick shots, and it certainly looks like they're doing that right now. Carolina Hoffman, freshman point guard. Lobbed in for Puckett, and a nice shot by Grace Puckett.
Think about this, Scott. That is the first bucket they've had since they opened the scoring in the first quarter.
Melbourne's got an open three just about any time they want here. Not being challenged. Now they'll take it. It's Hardaway. Got it.
Just has a nice shooting stroke right there, and she's wide open, though, on the perimeter.
Riverside breaks the press. Puckett fighting through the trap. We'll get it out of there to Briley Douglas. He's going to handle the ball a little bit. Do a nice job with it. This is Haley Carr. Over to Hoffman. Long three from Lottie Hoffman is short of the mark.
Boy, she took, that was a deep three. It's NBA style right there.
Raypert, little hesitation. Long with the shot. And the rebound to Carolina Hoffman. Up the floor to Lottie Hoffman. And now Douglas. Another deflection. Melbourne's had a few of those. Trying to get a little more aggressive with the dribble drive. That's going to be a foul. Briley Douglas bumped by Hardaway. That's going to be her first personal foul.
Now they got mass substitution coming in.
Yep.
3 players come in, Scott.
Kylie Humphreys, Josie Roark, Kylie Webb, all in the game now for Melbourne. Briley Douglas, too hard. Nice offensive putback by Grace Puckett, and she draws the foul.
Great job with positioning down low. She gets the rebound, is able to use her body and get back up and get that extra putback and the foul.
Riverside pulls everybody off the foul line or off the lane. And Puckett converts the conventional three-point play. She's got 5 of Riverside's 8. 3 minutes in to the second quarter. Roark misses badly. Nice save by Kinley McCarn. Off of a Riverside Lady Rebel. It stays in the Bearcats front court.
Boy, Scott, that she missed, didn't even come close to even the backboard. That kind of looked like one of my shots.
I haven't seen you shoot, but
you're not
I believe you.
You're not missing much.
This is Kylie Webb. In the corner, Webb thought about it. Good ball movement, McCarn. Oh, a near steal, but underneath, Webb is alone, and she scores her first bucket.
That was a great job working the ball around the perimeter and then finding the open girl down low to throw it up and get the 2 points.
Good patience by Riverside, not getting rattled by the pressure, and Puckett's going to force it and get it swatted out of bounds. I like the way she attacks the rim, though. Briley Douglas. She's going to get called for the offensive foul. That's going to be her first. And that brings us to our under 4 timeout in the second quarter. 2A Girls Championship in Hot Springs. Melbourne leads by 9.
The Everett difference is much more than just vehicle sales and service. It's also our commitment to helping those who help others, like those who work to build communities, those who help to enrich the lives of children, those who provide a loving home to kids in need, and those who lend a helping hand when you need it. It's a privilege to work with these wonderful organizations, and we're grateful for everything they do. That's the Everett difference. Everett Buick GMC.
Paris is a tinderbox. It'll only take a spark to set it off.
Critics are raving about the epic new 6-part drama.
Go and fetch your daughter here. I'll never abandon you.
You're a thief.
I was a thief, but that is long in the past. I've identified a dangerous criminal. It's over for him.
Don't ever forget. You promised to become an honest man. It's what you want, isn't it?
Les Miserables. Tune in or stream Sunday, April 14th at 9, 8 Central. Only on PBS.
Fans, make sure to check out the official championship merchandise online at ArkansasHighSchoolSports.com. Image One, the official merchandise provider of the AAA.
I want to say thanks to one of my Twitter followers for letting me know this. He says the Melbourne coach's name, even though it looks like Teague, is pronounced Tig. Eric Tig. We need that assistance from time to time. You know, when we get a chance to talk to the coaches, we always ask about pronunciations. That 3's off by Webb. Sometimes, I understand they're busy. It's busy in championship week. They don't get a chance to have many conversations with us, and I didn't get a chance to ask.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, real quick, I know we're doing high school games, but I just saw the Razorback women about to upset Mississippi State.
Is that right?
55-51 right now.
How much time is left?
I'll have to look. I didn't see that one. Trying to watch the high
That's
school
not a
game.
complete update.
Well, somebody came over with their cell phone and said, here, look at this.
I got you. That would be huge. Back-to-back.
Yes.
It's not Mississippi State. They're playing A&M.
Or A&M, that's what I meant. I'm sorry. Yeah, A&M. They got the same colors.
They do. Same difference to us as a Razorback fan, right?
Yeah.
Lob in for Grace Puckett. She's been the best offense so far tonight, and she continues it. 7 points for the Riverside junior, and that closes the gap to 7. High post, Humphreys. And they get it down to row arc, but she stepped out of bounds.
You know, we've seen that a lot this state tournament, to where either it's on that far sideline by the scoreboard or down low. Just don't know where you are. There's not really a white line on the floor like in a lot of arenas.
Yeah.
It just goes from the tan floor to the black.
That's a great point. I wonder if that's really played havoc with some of the players, and that's going to be a foul called. No, she stepped out of bounds too.
Yeah, right there on that sideline in front of the scorer's table. And you know, I mean, it's 6 1/2 dozen, but I mean, the fact that most courts in high school have a white line that goes for the out of bounds, there's not one here.
Well, I wonder too, you know, we've seen some teams come in here that are really good shooting teams and not shoot well, at least for part of the game. And we talk about the openness behind the backboard compared to the closed-in gyms, although a lot of these high schools have nice arenas these days too. Maybe not the smaller schools. Well, I say that, but I mean, a lot of the smaller schools have the nicest arenas. But I wonder if the openness of that makes them feel like they have a little more space. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we have seen a lot of that. Hoffman finds Puckett, and she draws the foul. Two free throws coming up for Grace Puckett. Foul goes against Kylie Humphreys.
You know, Riverside doing a good job trying to get the ball down to Grace Puckett. She's got 7 points in this one and make it 8. But if she really wants to, if they want to stay competitive and keep this game close, you've got to use Grace Puckett down low. Feed her and feed her often.
Got them both. So just to look it up for you, 38 seconds left. Arkansas's women lead 55-51. So looks like they might do it.
It's 2 big wins in 2 days.
Yeah. How about the job Mike Neighbors has done, huh?
Yeah.
Webb. The kick out baseline. Humphreys works her way in. Good defense. Puckett cut her off. It's a good possession here for Riverside. Deep three. In and out from Rapert. And Riverside gets it back. They're down 5. A little bit of a run by the Lady Rebels. Lottie Hoffman wildly up. Boy, I thought that might go down.
Yeah.
It did not. McCarn all the way. A blocking foul is going to be called. That'll be whistled on Carolina Hoffman. That is her first. And at the line with the pairs, Kinley McCarn.
Basketball fans, see state government in action with ARCAN, the Arkansas Citizens Access Network, where you can watch the live streaming legislative proceedings and other official government activities. Visit aetn.org to learn more.
McCarn gets them both. That ends a little bit of a dry spell for Melbourne. Gets the lead back out to 7. And a turnover.
Yeah, backcourt violation. She didn't quite know where she was, and she stuck her foot, and it crossed it. You know, if you step on the line, you're okay. But when it crosses over just a little bit, it's going to be backcourt, and that's what she did.
Off balance. Josie Roark into the paint. Boy, and Riverside had cut it to 5 just moments ago, and all of a sudden it's right back to 9, and Melbourne with the pressure. They're going to have to hurry, and they do get it across with Carr. Oh, and they find Douglas open, but she backs it back out. Puckett off with the 3. And now Melbourne can take the last shot. Rapert with 5. Leaves it for Roark. And that's how we'll end it. Riverside led early on briefly. Largest lead of the game for Melbourne has been 10. Riverside had cut it down to 5 ever so briefly, but Melbourne stretches it back out here at the intermission. It's 21-12. Bearcats over the Lady Rebels. We're back inside Bank OZK Arena in a moment.
Hello, I'm Steve Barnes. This is Arkansas Week's home during sessions of the General Assembly. It's the better to bring you the voices of the legislators themselves, as well as the journalists who make it their mission to cover government in Arkansas. Our motto around here, whether it's in our Conway studios or in Little Rock, is pretty much the same. Light, not heat. No grandstanding, no shouting, no pounding on the table. Just facts, substance, interpretation.
Student filmmakers, it's time to submit your film to AETN's annual Student Selects competition. Films are eligible for scholarships, prizes, screenings, and broadcast on AETN. Submit your entry at aetn.org/studentselects.
2 different styles on display in the 2A Girls Championship game. Riverside preferring the slower half-court game, and they've done a pretty good job with it in the first half, being patient. They did turn the ball over 8 times in the first 16 minutes of play, but they got the shots, I think, in many occasions, RJ, that they were looking for, but they didn't do a good job of knocking them down. 4 out of 14 here at the break.
Yeah, no, you're right, Scott. And really, one of the big things is Riverside wanted to slow the pace down. They did that. They accomplished that. They got their shots, but couldn't knock it down. But I really like the fact that they're really trying to go down to Puckett, down low, trying to get her involved, get her the scoring going with her. She's currently got 9 points. But Melbourne, they're so fast. When they close in on you defensively, they're not allowing for any breakaways. They're really not allowing for any open passes either, because you saw earlier in the court, there was an wide open lane on that right side. It closed down fast.
Just wonder, too, if depth is going to come into play in that second half. We mentioned that a little bit early on in the broadcast. There are only 8 rostered players for Riverside, and Melbourne showed the propensity to do a lot of substitution early on.
And think about this. If you lose a player to injury for Riverside, then you're going down to 5, 6 players. So they've got to be smart with their substitutions.
We are about 7:40 away from starting the third quarter. Those halftimes go fast in the high school games. We have much to do in our halftime activities, though. We'll be back inside Studio B in Hot Springs in just a moment.
Broadcast of this championship game is made possible by
Law Offices of Gary Green, a people's practice, representing people with serious injuries in areas of personal injury, nursing home negligence, and product liability. We are proud to be underwriters of AETN.
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas to provide reliable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.
The Cherokee Nation, our people, our culture, our history, our future. To learn more, go to visitcherokeenation.com and say hello to the Cherokee Nation.
Drake Toll back here from Studio B at Bank OZK Arena, where Melbourne currently leads at the half. Back in the 1960s, before Title IX, Arkansas made little room for girls' sports. It took the pioneering efforts of players and coaches like Betty Wallace to create change and pave the way for Arkansas girls to compete on a level playing field.
Betty Wallace is a legend.
When I was little, I always wanted a basketball, but my mother never would let me have one because she was afraid I'd want to play when I grew up. Little did she know that I would end up teaching PE.
I attended Melbourne High School, and I was a very shy, skinny little kid, and I was good at my hook shot. We didn't have a basketball team or sports because there was no Title IX money at that time. She would form basketball teams between the classes.
In Arkansas, the only thing for girls, as competitively, was basketball. The girls played in cut-off blue jeans, and for numbers, we used pennies that the PE classes used.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, I couldn't walk and chew gum at the same time. I was not an outstanding athlete. But Coach Wallace treated me just like she did any of the others. To her, it really didn't matter that I was not one of the starting players.
I wanted somebody who wanted to come to Henderson to get an education and to play volleyball or tennis. I wanted someone who had the initiative to come here.
We would go to other schools. We slept on the gym floor on mats because we didn't have the money for hotels. And then we'd play all day. And then maybe the next week, they would come down to our school and we'd do the same thing. She and 3 other coaches brought those things together, and they created an organized sports association. And this was the precursor to women's athletics in the state of Arkansas.
We started working on writing a constitution and bylaws, sent it to every college in Arkansas, regardless of size. And that's how it all got started. We had an organization here in Arkansas before there was one nationally for women. The year that we were 3rd in the region, they got in a huddle and hollered, "We are Betty's Reddies." And they said they knew they weren't in trouble when they heard my infectious laugh.
We have a group called Betty's Reddies. We all played some type of sport for her. We did everything we possibly could do that would help tell people about Betty, her legacy, and what she meant to the women in sports in Arkansas.
I was out mowing the yard. Woody Jolly came by, who is on the board of the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame. Well, the light came on, and I called and said, I know what's going on.
We were very happy to celebrate her as one of the newest inductees in the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame.
They're good kids. They were good kids. They're good ladies now. They had respect for me, and I had respect for them. So last April, I got installed in the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame. And I was very pleased, and I know that my kids are the ones that got me there.
March is Women's History Month, and AETN Sports wants to take the opportunity to congratulate and thank Betty Wallace on behalf of all of the girls from across Arkansas who can now share the court and the spotlight due to her groundbreaking efforts. Also, the Arkansas Lady Razorbacks just knocked off the Texas A&M Lady Aggies in the SEC tournament semifinals, sending the Lady Razorbacks to the SEC Championship as the lowest seed to ever make it. For Drake Toll from Studio B at Bank OZK Arena, we'll take it to a break and then back to action. Melbourne leading at the half.
We are the curious.
The adventurous.
Those venturing out for the first time.
And those who've never lost our sense of wonder.
You sing this?
We are the hungry.
The strong.
The joyful.
A happy little cloud. We believe there is always more we can uncover.
More we can explore.
We believe in the capacity for goodness.
And the potential for greatness.
The torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans.
PBS.
PBS.
Anytime we want, anywhere we are.
About set for the third quarter of play. Both teams in their respective huddles and about ready to head back out onto the floor. Melbourne with a 21-12 halftime lead here in the 2A girls championship final. It's our last one. We're halfway through our final game.
It's the last half of basketball that we're going to see for the 2019 high school basketball season.
Yeah, it's been a really fun ride. Again, we've said this throughout, but again, our thanks to everybody involved with the broadcast.
Scott, and I got to do some self-bragging here for just a minute. That last game that I just did on 103.7 The Buzz was my 100th state basketball title game to call here in Arkansas.
Really?
We started doing some math last night, and I've done 100 of these games.
100?
Yeah, I've been here 10 years. And
that's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have done a great job for a long time on The Buzz with all those games. I know a lot of people wouldn't be able to know what's happening in those games without the radio calls, and just kind of added up, elevated it to a whole new game with AETN this year with the football finals and now the basketball finals.
Well, and AETN's done an outstanding job. The entire crew, Matt Johnson, Ed, all those folks that have just really put in long hours to get this thing off the ground and running, and we want to thank all of those folks for doing this.
Yeah, and I mentioned it a couple of games ago. We get a break every now and then. We didn't do all 12 games. They don't get a break.
No, they don't.
They're doing all of the games. They get a break between games maybe for a couple of minutes. I don't know really how they found time to eat. Hoffman can't hit the three. That would have been nice for Riverside to start the third quarter after getting that defensive stop. Raypert all the way. Off balance, draws the contact, and she'll go to the free throw line.
I'm going to get Matt during one of the breaks to give us a list of all the crew that works on.
Oh, yeah, he's got nothing else to do.
Well, okay. Well, then I'm going to get somebody else. Take that back, Matt. Don't worry about that. Matt is he's our director of this whole thing. We'll get somebody else to, but I want to get a list of the entire crew that puts in the time to make these games go off, because they all need to have their names mentioned for the hard work they've done in the last 3 days.
44,810 people have come to Bank OZK Arena to watch this weekend. That's prior to this final game. There'll be an official attendance registered after this game is over.
I believe the record is 50,000 for a 3-day event.
That is something I can find.
Yeah, I think I was looking it up earlier, and that was back in when the games were at Verizon Arena, and the 7A game at the time ended up having 14,000 at the game.
That ball lost out by the Bearcats, and Riverside's going to get it back. Carolina Hoffman, the floater. Oh, couldn't get it to go. Follows it. But the second try not there either. And here comes Reagan Rapert with the left hand. Has it swatted away. And picked up by Hoffman. She's going to slow it down. Riverside playing a little more up-tempo here in the second half. Hoffman drives it, kicks it. Carr, no. And it will belong to Riverside.
So I take that back. The all-time best record for a 3-day attendance figure was when it was in Little Rock in 2013. I want to say this was in 13. It was at Barton. I may be wrong, but the total 3-day attendance was 83,216 over 3 days. The largest single game attendance was a boys game, was 14,601, was West Memphis and North Little Rock in 04.
Grace Puckett going to work with the offensive rebound, and it will earn her a trip to the free throw line. That was her first miss from the foul line. She missed them both. Not a high margin for missed shots if you're Riverside, and you're going to get back into it here. Out of the corner, Cooper drains the three.
Nice shot right there. He set it up. You're in the corner. You got a wide open shot and able to knock it down.
Trouble in the backcourt. Riverside's got to hurry. Carr will get it into the front court, but turns it over. That's a foul on Haley Carr. That's going to be her second personal foul. And it's the team's second here in the third quarter. 13-point Melbourne lead, and now we've got a double dribble that gives it right back to the Lady Rebels.
By the way, we were talking about the Razorback women, and they'll be playing the SEC Finals. First time in program history they've made it to the Finals.
Yeah, and it's the first time a 10 seed has made it to an SEC championship in women's basketball. Hoffman does a nice job taking the contact and still hitting the shot. Lottie Hoffman has 5. There are only 2 players who've scored for Riverside, Grace Puckett and Lottie Hoffman. Roark, no. Riverside basketball. Just when you think Melbourne's going to pull away, the Rebels get an opportunity to get it back to single digits. Mentioned they had a propensity to be a little more up-tempo here in the third quarter, but now they're going back to the patience, way away from the basket. And that's a foul on Haley Cooper. Reagan Rapert checks back into the game for Melbourne. Kylie Webb goes to the bench. as we close in on the halfway point of the third quarter. Puckett backs in, uses her size, can't finish, and the rebound pulled down by Kate Shin.
I know we don't do this very often, but a buddy of mine in Hot Springs watching us here on AETN, my buddy Chad Heritage, said hello, and he's watching the games here in Hot Springs.
Cooper way off on the three, but offensively, Rayford gets it back. Hardaway bombs away.
Nice job right there. Finding her spot, she was able to stop and pop and knock it down. Got a 13-point lead now.
Carolina Hoffman through lots of traffic, scoops it up and in. How about that? Quick timeout, too, by Riverside. Carolina Hoffman becomes the first Riverside player other than Lottie Hoffman and Grace Puckett to score. And I believe we're being told is that going to be the media timeout?
It's going to be the media.
Yeah, it's going to be the media timeout, even though it was taken by the coach. So we'll take it. 3:23 left in the third. Melbourne leads it by 11.
Wow, that is unbelievable.
Stay curious.
Why choose local? Because local companies stay rooted in their communities. They support other local businesses and provide jobs for your friends and neighbors. At Fidelity Communications, we take great pride in being a local company that's dedicated to the communities we serve. Jobs and opportunities for the people you love. That's why you choose local. Fidelity Communications. We're here, we're local. Be connected with Fidelity, your local internet, TV, and home phone provider.
Congratulations to the outstanding student athletes participating in this game today, all from Melbourne. There are 5 outstanding young ladies on this team who all have achieved 4.0 grade point averages. Madison Suzanne Cooper, 4.0 in pediatric physical therapy. Kenley Erin McCarn, 4.0 going into pharmacy. Riley Ann Provence, she'll be in pharmacy as well. And Josie Scarlett Roark in dentistry. And let's not forget about Emma Faye Webb, who's going into the medical field. All these are outstanding players for Melbourne.
Three-pointer is off the mark from Rayford, but it's an offensive rebound by Cooper that keeps it in the Bearcats' front court. Melbourne has led most of the way. Their largest lead, 13. Cooper gets the roll.
Nice.
And it's the new largest lead now. 14-point Melbourne advantage. 2 3-pointers in this quarter for senior Haley Cooper. Puckett has it taken away. Rayford on the break. As the shot altered, offensive rebound by Roark, but the putback hit the underneath of the backboard, and now the scrum is on for that loose ball. It's a jump ball, and it's going to go back to Riverside.
So, Scott, I got to ask you, this is your first year doing high school championships for AETN. Have you done anything in the past as far as high school games and championships?
Not in Arkansas, no.
So what was your impression of the 3-day festivities down here in Hot Springs?
It is a wild ride. I mean, I really like watching the drama of a great finish, the celebration on the court, and before you can even take a breath, you're playing again.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. This is one of the best events that goes on if you're a sports fan.
I mean, it truly is March Madness. You know, that one of the things I learned, I did a lot of Illinois high school basketball in my first job as a play-by-play announcer after college. And I learned that the term March Madness was actually coined by Illinois high school state championship tournaments.
Really?
Yeah. So March Madness existed in the high school ranks before it existed anywhere else.
Do they get a cut of that royalty fee whenever somebody uses March Madness?
I don't know if they patented it. That's what I don't know, is if they have a copyright on the term March Madness. But
hey, let's say hello to Riverside's Haley Carr. She is an outstanding student athlete as well with a 4.105 GPA. She's going into biology. Will graduate high school with an associate's degree in general studies. Scott,
drive by Hoffman, she draws the foul on the floor.
I tell you, kids are a lot smarter now than what they were when I was in school, because kids are graduating high school with associate's degrees. Or I was telling Eric Sullivan earlier that when I was in school, the highest you get on a GPA was 4.0.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
Now you got kids with 4.5s and just really smart, intelligent kids these days.
Well, it's all those AP courses they take.
Yeah.
And they do graduate with college credit a lot. Inside of a minute, another drive by Hoffman. No finish, but Puckett there has her shot swatted. Hardaway takes it down out of the air ahead to Rapert. Long pass into the corner. Oh, and wide open underneath Humphreys. Riverside did a good job recovering there, but they leave Webb alone. Look at the hustle play by Josie Roark, but it's lost out of bounds to Riverside.
Great job that time, and the ball movement was exceptional. Fans, if you want to purchase a DVD copy of today's game, all you got to do is go to FidelityLocal6.com, and they will get you a copy. That's FidelityLocal6.com.
Carolina Hoffman backs out. Riverside going to shoot for a last-second shot here. Trying to dig into a 14-point lead as we approach the fourth quarter. Hoffman's going to have to do something. 5-second violation is not what they wanted. That'll give the Bearcats a chance to add to the lead before we go to the fourth. Here's Rapert. The pull-up just off the back of the iron. And Melbourne will have to be content with a 14-point lead as we head to the fourth quarter of the 2A girls state championship game.
Broadcast of this championship game is made possible by
Law Offices of Gary Green, a people's practice, representing people with serious injuries in areas of personal injury, nursing home negligence, and product liability. We are proud to be underwriters of AETN.
You'll find us at the end of a lot of long country roads, covering over 60% of the great state of Arkansas to provide reliable power to over 500,000 homes, farms, and businesses. The Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, your local energy partners.
The Cherokee Nation, our people, our culture, our history, our future. To learn more, go to visitcherokeenation.com and say hello to the Cherokee Nation.
With 40 locations in Arkansas and growing, Big Red Stores is proud to be the official convenience store of the Arkansas Activities Association. Big Red Stores proudly supports Arkansas schools and their communities.
Some of the shooting numbers as we head into the fourth quarter. Riverside shooting 24% for the game, 6 out of 25. Melbourne not much better, 10 out of 36, 27%. Three-pointers, not really a big difference in the game. Riverside 1 out of 6. Melbourne is 5 out of 17. +4 in that category. Turnovers a big difference too. Riverside 12, Melbourne with 4. So +8 for the Bearcats in the turnover category. Rebounds pretty even. 25 for Riverside, 22 for Melbourne. Out of the corner. That would have been the 6-3. Riverside still hanging around. Alexis Courtney in the game. Handled the basketball briefly. Off the right side, that shot knocked out of bounds. Riley Douglas had her shot sent towards the Riverside cheerleaders. Melbourne looking for their second state title in program history, and would be their first since 1973. That was the year I was born, by the way.
I wouldn't even
long range three from Hoffman, not there. Rayford in the open floor. Rayford, like the way she drives it, and she gets the roll.
Made it look easy right there.
That's 8 for Reagan Rayford. Her first field goal of the second half. And it gives Melbourne a 32-16 advantage. Reach-in foul against Kylie Humphreys.
Okay, so I've got the list of everybody here in the arena that's helped put on these broadcasts. I'm going to start with some of the AETN crews. Games 9 through 12. We want to thank Eric, Anita, and Casey. Those three with the AETN camera crew. Those guys worked hard throughout to make this thing happen. And we'll get to some of the Fidelity Local 6 folks here in a moment.
Puckett had it knocked out off of Melbourne. Riverside finding the going tough underneath and inside, but only one three-pointer in the game. How about a mid-range jumper? And they get that from Briley Douglas and a quick Riverside timeout.
Nice job right there. Well, also some support staff back behind with AETN, Tanisha and CJ and Ed. Those are kind of the masterminds behind AETN and helping put this thing on. Some of the Fidelity Local 6 staff, you've got Matt Johnson. He's our technical engineer, technical director. He really clicks and ticks and gets us on the air. Mason Woolbright.
Somehow find time for a selfie in the middle of all what he's doing there.
Look at that. You got Mason Woolbright, Michael Gober, Nathan Johnson, Barrett Pfeiffer, Morgan Garrett, my man Popeye, who was with Channel 7 for a long time. Popeye doing excellent work with the camera today. Jillian Rudd, Marcus Robinson, Jonathan Webb, Dakota Baxter, and Rashad Morrow. All these folks really do a great job. And some more staff from AETN that helped get this done. Boy, this is how many people help put these games on.
This ought to be that'll let you know, all the fans who've enjoyed this. It takes a lot of people to put this together.
We've got Bill Bullock, Claret Vasquez, Taylor Kendrick, Chuck Durham, Eric White, Amy Waller, Greg Wise, Michael Hembeck, Casey Sanders, Anita Grote, CJ Burks, Tanisha Joe Conway, Dwayne Wilbur, Ed Leon, Courtney Pledger, Michael Clay, Joshua Johnson, Charlie Hilton, Michael Delaney, and Kevin Lewis. I mean, that right there, it takes all those people to put these games on, and we couldn't do it. I mean, if one person from this list was missing, the whole production would be lost, and so we want to thank everybody.
It has been a fun ride for all of us. Rayford can't get it to go. The follow try not there for Humphreys. Rayford to go again. And she's in double figures with 10. It is getting late for the Lady Rebels. Puckett stripped, and Rayford 2-on-2 ahead to McCarn, and she'll draw the foul.
And of course, by the way, I want to thank you and Bobby Swafford, Eric Sullivan. We're all doing, Justin Acree. Want to thank all those guys for stepping in and doing these 12 basketball games over 3 days.
It's been my pleasure. It really has. I've had a blast doing it. I was excited when they asked me to do it. I don't know where that request originated, but
it was me.
It was all you.
No,
all you. You can take credit for it.
No, Derek Walters.
Oh, you.
We need to give a shout out to Derek Walters, because he's with the Arkansas Activities Association and in charge of communications and marketing, and he's the one that set this whole thing up. And if it weren't for him, we wouldn't be here today.
Boy, Melbourne's Rayford again with a strip. Here she goes on a 2-on-1. Great bounce pass. The shot blocked, though, from Webb. Riverside continues to fight. But they're running out of possessions big time now. Just struggled to put the ball in the hoop. How about a 15-footer from Lottie Hoffman? Not there. Offensive rebound. Puckett goes back up and draws the foul and will go to the line.
By the way, Scott, much like Bobby forgot who I was when we started this, I just left off Bobby Swafford off the.
I think you mentioned.
Oh, did I?
You?
Well, no, I had a text saying I left off Bobby.
Oh,
so
well, don't leave out Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby, he drives down from Northwest Arkansas.
Hey, I've enjoyed getting to know all you guys a little bit better.
Well, you know, we did this in football and basketball, and I'm ready for you to call soccer.
Well, I shouldn't say this while I'm on the air. I actually could probably do it.
Well, there we go.
I watch tons of it. I've got twin daughters that play it, a wife that coaches it. Oh, what a nice dish. Rayford gets it to Josie Roark. Melbourne putting on a show here in the fourth quarter. The Bearcats well on their way. There's something about that transition game in basketball just makes it much more fun.
Yeah,
I mean, when you can get out and run.
Yep, you're exactly right.
I think the players like that too. Puckett knocked down, and we'll draw the foul.
Hey fans, you can watch all the championship games as many times as you want beginning on Monday. All you have to do is go to aetn.org/sports. That's aetn.org/sports.
Gotta like the way Grace Puckett has continued to motor. Working hard. Getting to the free throw line. Gets 1 out of 2 there. Kinley McCarn gets the rebound. Melbourne can certainly afford to be as patient as they'd like here. McCarn tripped up, flings it out of bounds. We talked about it earlier in the broadcast how young this Melbourne team is.
Yeah.
McCarn is a freshman. We had 4 sophomores and a freshman in the starting 5 tonight for Melbourne. Think they'll be back next year?
Yeah, they'll be good.
Three-pointer from Carr. Melbourne's going to run. Kylie Webb, bounce pass ahead to McCarn, who lays it in. That one almost took out our monitors.
They would say it's time to go home.
That would, yeah. Matt would not want to end our last broadcast
this black
with
screen.
his monitors going away. They're okay. Under 4 timeout. 3:34 left in our final state championship. And Melbourne well on their way to claiming the trophy.
This month in Passport, your on-demand library of the best of PBS.
She was the Queen's sister, but she did things nobody else in the royal family had done.
When you get that relationship with a horse, sky is the limit of what you can do.
Your 4th great grandfather knew Thomas Jefferson.
This is blowing my mind.
These and other shows are available with Passport. Become a member of this PBS station. Sign in and start streaming today.
One of the best things about being a community-focused bank like Centennial is that we encourage our employees to volunteer and give back. That's why our bankers are often seen around town involved in activities that have less to do with money matters and more to do with supporting others. From charity events and disaster relief to Chamber of Commerce and civic activities, we enjoy rolling up our sleeves and helping make our community a better place. See for yourself the difference our local commitment can make. More information available at mile100bank.com. Centennial Bank, member FDIC.
21. The Bearcats on top of the Lady Rebels. Final 3.5 minutes. And a foul charged to Riverside. Following the game, we will have some post-game comments. And a foul away from the ball before the inbound. Again, going to go on Riverside. Post-game interview with the winning head coach. And we will wrap up the festivities here from Bank OZK Arena. Which, by the way, when I came into the arena, I think this may be the first time I've actually ever been here. I'm kind of surprised that I'd never been here before, but when we're talking about thanking people and talking about, oh, what a look that was. Rapert with a no-look across the lane, and Kylie Humphreys finishes it off. It's a 21-point lead. Love this facility. This arena, I think, is a perfect size for these state championships.
I agree 100%. I know there's a lot of people that want the games at Verizon or the Jack Stevens Center in Little Rock, but there's something special when you get this place jam-packed.
Yep.
And they're right on top of you. It feels like there's 20,000 in here.
Nice spin by Lottie Hoffman, and she knocks it down off the window. And I think occasionally you would have, if you had the right matchup, look at this spin. Rapert finishes it. Wow, what a shot.
Great job right there with the spin move at the baseline. That's a tough shot.
Occasionally, like I thought about in the 6A boys game, if you had a all-Central Arkansas final, though, although Northside really traveled well, too.
Yeah.
Webb had her shot blocked. There's going to be a foul called. She'll go to the line. Occasionally, you might need more than 7,000 seats. But
here's the thing,
game in, game out, this is perfect.
But here's the thing. I mean, get your tickets early. You know, when they sell out, and then it's on you.
That's a great point.
And, you know, a couple years ago, when Cabot played Malik Monk, they had to lock the doors here at Bank OZK Arena because of the fact that, you know, Fire Marshal says only so many people can get in. And there was a lot of people that were mad, but at the same time, you know, Verizon Arena, they want to sell concerts. You know, they're going to be able to do other things there. And Hot Springs wants the state finals. And so you got to embrace that. And if you want to go to the game that bad, go get your ticket early.
Riverside breaks the pressure, but then the turnover. Webb ahead to McCarn. Let's see if the Bearcats try to slow it down now. They've really been attacking the rim here. Just playing their game as we drift under 2 minutes. Melbourne fans sensing it. Some of them getting to their feet now. They're going to take a championship trophy back to North Central Arkansas.
By the way, I just want to give a shout out to Terry Condor Johnson, former women's basketball player at UCA. She's watching our broadcast today, and she's with the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame, which is over at Verizon Arena. So I want to say hello to her, and she loves women's basketball in this state.
Well, I've been greatly impressed by the quality of girls basketball that we have seen on display in these games.
Yes.
Little Rock Christian, just a machine, taking it to Jonesboro the other day. Mountain View game was a great game to watch. Young players on display in the Mountain View game. And Atkins, very young. Closing in on a minute. Outside, Puckett. Boy, I would have liked to seen her get it through.
Yeah,
she's worked so hard. Rapert dishes for Morris, rather. Now back out.
And they can feel it now, Scott. State champ. It's been since the 70s since Melbourne won a state championship.
And a timeout will be called by Coach Tigg. This will probably be to bring all the starters out and get some other players in there to get them some minutes officially in the state championship game. Hallie Weaver is in. Hallie Cooper. Shelby Morris, who was already in the contest. And the final 23 seconds of not only this 2A girls basketball championship, but of the high school basketball season in Arkansas. 12 champions crowned over 3 days. The putback and a score. And that's it. Maddie Cooper gets one before the horn, and the Melbourne Bearcats are state champions.